Long story short, I quit professional ballet and I am now studying film at an Ivy League. Hi, I'm Alexandra. I've been on the internet for a very long time, but I've never sat down and talked about my life story. I guess to start, we have to go all the way back. I started dancing ballet when I was 5, like many 5-year-old girls, but the summer in between 8th grade and high school, my parents sat me down and said that if I wanted to continue dancing, then I have to do it seriously and I have to be a professional, or I would have to start focusing on school because I was going to high school and things are gonna get more serious, and then you have to go to college and all this other stuff. Okay, I guess first off, what is a professional ballet dancer? It means that you dance for a living, but a lot of people don't know that ballet companies exist. You work for the company, they put up productions and you basically dance for them and you perform, and that is your job. Also, for context, my dad was a professional ballet dancer, so it was something in the family. And he was my main teacher and coach. So when I was 14, he asked me do you want to do ballet professionally, or do you want to go to school like most other students? And so I decided to do ballet. When he asked me, I was at American Ballet Theater's New York summer program, and so I was living in the city for 6 weeks, dancing every day for, I don't know, 6 to 8 hours a day, Monday to Friday anyway, and I was just surrounded by all these people who loved dancing, including myself, and I was so inspired, and I would go watch ballets on the weekends. And so when he asked me, I was duh, I want to do this. And so then I switched from public school to homeschooled, and I was homeschooled for high school so I could pursue dance. I really put academics on the back burner, and I was you know what, ballet is my life, this is gonna be it. Also during this time, because I was homeschooled / online school, I started my Bookstagram / YouTube and / social media stuff because I didn't really have people to talk to about my side hobbies, and I wanted something outside of ballet. So this is what this is. When I was training, it was very intense. I would wake up and I would do school basically until noon or so, and then we'd go to the studio and then we train from around 2 p.m. until, I don't know, 10 p.m. with breaks and meals obviously. But it was really intense and it was really lonely because it was mostly just me and my dad in the studio, and I'm spending a lot of hours staring at my body and telling myself this is everything that's wrong with me. And I would also be training to do competitions, and when you go to competitions, it's literally just here are all the reasons why you're not good enough. And then not every summer, but every couple of summers, I would go to a ballet summer program, which was very fun, but also everyone there is really intense. So it was just a lot, but I really loved it, and my love for ballet started to grow. I was very much a dance / ballet competition kid, where I went to a lot of competitions, and that was my life for the years of I don't know, age 14 to 19-ish. Anyway, I was doing that for a couple years. Fast forward to high school graduation time. People were going to college. I knew I wasn't going to go to college because I was doing this, and my parents were kind of oh yeah, if you're going to do ballet, usually the trajectory is that you train a lot and then you audition for ballet companies around when you're 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. That's a big age range, but not really, but essentially you're a child and you're auditioning to get a job. Okay, I have these fairy lights and they keep turning off, so I guess that's not happening. But anyway, I was doing auditions from the age of 18 to 22, and also going to competitions, and I was not having a great time. It was interesting because I always felt I was behind in life because a lot of my peers were getting jobs and contracts when they were literally 16, and I was just I feel so behind, I need to get a job ASAP. And so I was doing a lot of those auditions, and I got a couple offers like throughout the years that I was auditioning, but then I ultimately decided to like decline them and like try auditioning again the year after because I was just like so unhappy. So I was not having a great time during those auditions. If you've ever done it, you will know that it is traumatizing, but I don't know how to explain it to other people. I was kind of having like a little like early quarter life crisis because I was literally 20, because I was like, wait, I just spent essentially like my entire life training to be like really good at this thing that I do really love. Doing something that you love for your job is not the same as like doing it for your living. So what I mean by that is that like I realized that like when you're in a ballet company, you basically like don't have a lot of agency. At least from what I learned is that like you don't get to dance the parts that you want to necessarily because the director picks that. You don't have a choice in like what you dance. Everything that you do is basically just like whatever the director wants. And I often rejected company contracts because I was like, I auditioned for this company because I wanted a job, but then like now that I actually have this job, I realize that I don't want to be dancing this company's like repertoire and doing whatever they're doing. I don't know, I feel like there are like a million reasons why people quit the things that they love. So like this is not necessarily like specific to ballet or dance. For example, like reasons like why people end up like doing something else as opposed to their passions, and this is often true for the arts. And I feel like in order to do your artistic passions as a job, you have to like sacrifice, not necessarily, but in my case, I had to sacrifice my love for it. So in doing ballet as my job, I ended up like hating ballet, which made me really sad. The thing is that like I never ended up working or dancing at a company because I never wanted it to get that far, because I was doing these auditions and I realized that if I kept going, I fully would end up like despising ballet because of like all these reasons. I was also struggling with my mental health, as one does in a very toxic environment, and I feel like almost everyone in the dance industry will tell you that it is toxic to a certain extent. And so what I mean by that is like I was struggling with body dysmorphia, and not necessarily an eating disorder, but definitely disordered eating, and I just like did not have a good relationship with my mental well-being and my body. And I think that's why now a lot of like my content is focused on like self-care, self-love, and like that vein of thinking, because I kind of like want to make stuff that I wish I heard, or like I don't know, like something that I needed to hear when I was at that age. Anyway, so I was doing these auditions and like having a terrible time, and so then I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with my life. I could teach dance because at the same time like I was teaching and coaching younger dancers, but I didn't really want to do that, especially since I like had like kind of a negative relationship with dance at that point. And so I tried to like pivot to something else, and so then I got really into yoga and I became a yoga instructor. I got like my teacher training, and then I was teaching at Core Power Yoga for like a year or so. And then I thought I wanted to do graphic design, and so then I signed up for like Parsons like graphic design certificate course, and I did that. And I was doing that like while I was auditioning, because like I was auditioning for like 3 years or so, and it was like the later 2 years that I did those things because I was trying to like figure out a way out of ballet, but also a part of me was like, oh, I got this far, like I should at least like go and work in a company. Then COVID happened. It was 2020, and I told myself, I was like, you know, like I've been trying this for a while now, and I think this is like my last year that I'm like really going to try, and if I get a contract this year, then I will actually take it and I'll go, and this will be my life. And then, as everyone knows, COVID happened and all the auditions got canceled. Ballet companies were like, the performing arts is dead because everyone is quarantined, and you know, and I was kind of like, this feels like a sign from the world that I shouldn't do this, because I literally told myself like, this is the last year that I'm gonna try, and if it doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out, and it literally did not work out. And also I kind of figured that like COVID would take a while. Like my parents were estimating like 5 years for it to like fully go back to normal or whatever. And I guess like growing up, I always felt felt like I didn't have enough time, which is why I never like wanted to go back to school, and I chose to do like yoga teacher training or like a certificate program, which is like more like low commitment, because like I was afraid to commit 4 years to school. And also by this point, like I had not gone to school in like 10 years. My understanding of school was just like whatever I saw on the computer, and it did not really feel like school. So I decided to go back to school because I finally felt like I had time, because COVID gave me time. And so I enrolled in community college. I was really intimidated, but I enjoyed that like everything was online and on Zoom, because then it would feel like a lot more approachable, because like my last experience in school was literally online. And then I applied for schools to transfer, got into Columbia, and now I'm here and I am studying film, which is crazy to think about. I feel like it took me a long time to properly tell the story, or like tell that like, hey, like I used to do dance and like this is something in the past tense, and now I don't, because it has taken me a very long time to like fully accept that that chapter of my life is closed. And I feel like my relationship with ballet and like my relationship with the arts and dance in general is like finally healed, because now I can take ballet class without like feeling guilty or feeling like I'm a failure. And I am pretty active in Columbia's ballet companies / clubs, because I really enjoy it and I love the people in it, and I have such a great time doing it. I'm very happy to say that this semester I am the artistic director of Columbia Ballet Collaborative, and I feel like it's so full circle for me and I feel so healed, and I just wanted to share that. And obviously, like because of my general trajectory, I am a bit older than the traditional undergrad student. People are a bit confused when I do like college vlogs, because they're like, oh, like are you like 19? And I'm like, no, I'm not 19. And then when they find out that I'm older, they're like, oh, like are you doing like grad school? And I'm like, no. And then I don't really know how to explain myself, and I don't really enjoy explaining myself. And so this is me ripping the band-aid and using this video as a reference in case people in the future are confused as to like how old I am and like what I'm doing and like why I'm still in undergrad and all this other stuff. But yeah, if you have any other like life questions, please let me know, because now you know like who I am and what I do and how I somehow ended up at an Ivy League studying film. Oh, I mean, I guess like why film? That's a whole other video. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Bye!